it's official. It's official. Amazon has purchased MGM Studios for $8.45 billion. Now, is this the biggest, the largest, most expensive studio acquisition in history? No, not by a long shot. I believe that title, correct me if I'm wrong, Internet, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that title goes to Disney purchasing 20th Century Fox for what is it? I think it was $74 billion, like 73 point something or $74 billion. That was a lot. That was a lot. And now Amazon Studios has just purchased MGM Studios, which MGM has been a mainstay staple in Hollywood for close to 100 years. Like a long, long time. Louis B. Mayer, who was essentially kind of the brainchild behind MGM Studios. He was the one that like kind of started all. He was not the nicest of humans. He was a businessman, but you know, he did a pretty good job at running the studio and getting some big credibility behind his name. And you know, that name has endured. Now it begs the question, you know, obviously this article in Variety is talking about like, hey, what's going to happen to the James Bond franchise? And I think that's what's on a lot of people's minds. But let's jump into this article really quick from Variety. They say, you know, James Bond has a new home. MGM just announced this morning, you guys, MGM just I think it was at like 5 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. That's early. Anyway, they just announced this morning a definitive merger agreement between Amazon and MGM Studios for $8.45 billion. Yeah, so there you go. MGM was founded in 1924, so it's 97 years old. 97 years old this thing has been around. Complements Amazon Studios, which is primarily focused on producing TV programming. The company said Amazon will help preserve MGM's heritage, yada, yada, yada. For Amazon snapping up MGM, which has more than 4,000 movies and 17,000 television shows in its catalog, is a way to supercharge its Prime Video service with a slew of well-known entertainment titles. In addition, Amazon is anticipating being able to mine MGM's properties like the Pink Panther, Rocky, and of course 007. You know, if you jump down here into the bottom part of the article, they say like a lot of the titles that Amazon just acquired, you know, big name movies like 12 Angry Men, Basic Instinct, Creed, Rocky, Legally Blonde, Moonstruck, Poltergeist, Raging Bull, RoboCop, Silence of the Lambs, Stargate, Thelma and Louise, Tomb Raider, Magnificent Seven, Pink Panther, Thomas Crown Affair, James Bond, Fargo, Handmaid's Tale, Vikings. This is a ton of content, and as we know, as we're getting hot and heavy into the streaming wars, I feel like we've left the Bronze Age of the streaming wars and now we're in the Silver Age. I feel like we're in the Silver Age right now of the streaming wars. We're in the meat and potatoes now. We are in the meat and potatoes where studios are joining forces. We see this. Like we almost saw this in the midst of the pandemic with a lot of movie theater chains kind of shutting down and possibly being absorbed. I know. Do you remember like when AMC theaters shut its doors because they spent, I think it was like $5 billion revamping their theaters. They implemented AMC A-List. They had a lot of stuff on their to-do list, and it was fine. Like they put themselves in debt. But then the pandemic hit. Something happened that nobody could have ever anticipated. And now they were scrambling to try and get their heads above water. And they just couldn't do it. They just couldn't tread water. So they needed, thankfully there were a few different government bailouts. They received financial help from other institutions. Of course, like they're going to have to, end up paying off those debts and all that stuff. But you guys, we're in the middle of this whole thing where like mega companies, mega corporations are joining forces and acquiring other forces. I'm not not going to touch on my personal life. It has nothing to do here. But there are similarities. All of this is to say is, what is the future of MGM, or rather, like the MGM properties? What is the future of all this stuff going to look like? You know, I think this is an interesting thing. If you look at the type of content that Amazon Studios has been producing, I just watched the new Tom Clancy. Was it Without Remorse? I think that's what it is. I just saw Without Remorse. It was okay. But on the whole, Amazon Studios has been putting out some pretty good content overall. Hits and misses. Everyone has hits and misses, but overall, they've been putting out some pretty excellent content. Now, then again, it's all been streaming content. Very little of their content has gone to the movie theaters. But now with the acquisition of MGM Studios, Amazon is, I'm not going to say that they're being forced or that they're going to be forced to put new titles. So like the James Bond franchise. James Bond is mega moneymaker. Of course they're going to want to put that like upcoming films in the theaters because it's going to make them money. It's going to make them money as opposed to just releasing it on Amazon Prime. But I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon pulls an HBO Max where, you know, hey, the new James Bond movie coming out, it's coming out in theaters, and watch it next month on Amazon Prime. Like, I can very easily see something like that happening. I feel like the Paramount Accords are going to play less of a role moving forward. Paramount Accords, if you're not familiar, essentially just a set of rules and guidelines as laid out by both the government and the theater companies to say, like, hey, studios, you can't release your movie on home video until it's been in theaters for X amount of days. It's been out of theaters for X amount of days. Like, we need time. We need to make money. We need to make you money, and we need to make money ourselves. So, and there's so much more to it. It's such a complicated thing. But now in the streaming world, in the streaming era, a lot of this stuff matters a little less. Anyway, guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are about all of this stuff. It's official today. Amazon just purchased MGM Studios for $8.45 billion. Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is, excuse me, a little too much bubbly, good thing or bad thing? I want to hear your thoughts. Jump on down to the comment section below. And where do you see the future of this going? How do you think James Bond franchise is going to play out? How do you think the Pink Panther franchise is going to play out in future installments at Amazon Studios? Let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, guys. Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what the golden idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark would want you to do. Whoosh, whoosh.